Hi there, RV and camper owners. Today we're going to be taking a look at JR Products on-off rocker switch. These are available in either black, white, or brown to match your interior. And you can see how smooth that switch is there. It's a nice large switch, so it's very easy to identify, and for a light switch I really like it because it has such a large switch. When it's dark outside and you're trying to fumble through the hallways, you can easily identify this switch without having to see it, and you can clearly feel it when it's what position it's in, since the way the switch kind of sticks out here. And since this is a simple on-off switch, it's great for all of your 12-volt accessories. Some other examples besides just lights might be a range vent above your oven. Exterior lights are another good example, maybe a roof vent. Pretty much anything that you want it to be on certain times and off other times. Maybe it's for a pump for your water system to help you clean that out. There's a lot of different applications. It's just whenever you want to turn it on, you simply hit the switch, and when you want to turn it off, you hit it once again. The switch is an easy replacement since it has a nice bezel that covers up all the mounting hardware on there. It helps you get a nice, quick, clean installation because you don't have to be too particular about the stuff underneath. If you follow along with us, we'll show you how to get a switch replaced. We've recently serviced this motorhome for our customer, and they mentioned to us that their lights weren't working properly. We came in here and we turned the switch on and off. Nothing's happening. We did verify that other accessories work, just not this one here. So that means it's probably an issue with the switch, the lights, or the wiring. Well, since both lights don't work, more often than not, that means it's probably not the lights, it's probably the common part that controls both. So I highly suspect that our switch must be open internally. It's not closing the contacts. So we're gonna go ahead and pop it off of there, inspect our switch, and then get us a new one installed if it ends up being damaged. To remove the switch, you'll simply take a flat-bladed screwdriver, and I just kind of put a little bit of side pressure on it, and then you can get this underneath there and you can pop the cover off here. So there we go, and that just pops off of there. That'll reveal two screws that hold our switch in place. You can use either a number 2 square drive or a Phillips bit to remove these. Now your switch at home may look slightly different than this if you're replacing a factory switch, but as long as it's the same relative size, this replacement switch we're going to be putting on should work just fine. So now we can just pull our switch down. Looks like our wires aren't very long, so you don't want to pull too hard. We'll just get those disconnected from there. Make sure that they don't fall back up into place, so we're just going to kind of put a little bit of pressure on those, tucking them sideways so that they don't fall up in there on us. And with this switch, it can't be easier to replace it because if you look here, it's just got 2 prongs on the back. This switch is either on or off. So since this is just a switch that's either letting current pass through it or not, it doesn't matter how we wire it up to the switch. You can put either the hot or the cold on here, and it's still on either prong, and it's still going to complete the circuit and send it on to our lights. So we can just take this old no good switch here, and we're going to grab our new one, and we're just going to simply plug it in. So now we got our new switch from JR Products. It's a similar shape, size, and style. We're using one that's black, so it matched the old one, but these do also come in white if you would prefer that to match your particular interior. So now we'll just take these 2 leads that we removed from our old switch. We're just going to slide these onto the prongs, so the same size. And we could already see there when we touched it, we had our switch in the on position. The light flickered on, so we know that our new switch is working properly. I went ahead and turned it off just so it's not blinding me while I'm trying to get these plugged in. You want to make sure you get them all the way plugged in. We don't want to have exposed leads up in there. All right, and once we've got them inserted, we can put our switch up into place. And then we're just going to reuse the hardware that we took out of there. Now, if you're adding your own switch, you will have to provide your own hardware and you'll have to trim out your hole. The nice thing about this though is the switch does come with a bezel here, so that way you can ensure that your hardware is not going to be seen, and if you have to, when you go to cut out your hole, you can cover up any nasty marks you made while cutting. And it also makes a great template for determining the size hole you're going to need to cut out, because you can just sit this up here, maybe put it the other way like this, trace out that hole, cut that out, and that way you know your switch is going to push right up in there. And if you look where the screws are here, You can be sure that this hole here is not going to cut out too much, so you're still going to have plenty of meat for your screws to go into. The cover's just got a couple of little tabs you can see here in opposite corners. Those line up with the prongs there, and it just snaps right into place. So now we can test it out, and our switch is now working properly again. We've got lights over here, so you can see this is a nice, quick, easy replacement that you can easily do at home in a matter of minutes, and all you really need is a screwdriver.